What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I feel like it's been a hot minute actually since I've given you some real life riding footage. Now this is the Canada Heights practice day, which was on the 3rd of July, and I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm going to get the negativity out of the way at the start of the day. I did not have a good day overall in terms of riding, that is. As far as just general like mood and how the day went, the day was great, no issues at all. But yeah, my riding was very subpar. The track, so I've been coming to Canada Heights for probably about 15 years of my life now. I was here on 65s all the way through. Granted, the riding might not look like that, it looks like I've turned up for the first time, but in all those 15 years I can probably count on one hand the amount of times that I've seen the track been prepped worse than this. Now I understand that it's probably an immense amount of work to get a track prepped correctly, but it was something else, honestly. We had no forecasted rain, I believe, leading up to it, and it just looked like there was no rain put down at all. They've got a massive like little lake, whatever you want to call it, it kind of on the infield of the track, and yeah, it just didn't get used. I'm not too sure why. I believe that they had a nationals race literally like a week before or 2 weeks before, and I think it went the opposite way, where there was far too much water and they had to cancel after just one race, or some people didn't even get a race. So I feel like they've gone to the other extreme this time, and very dry, very dusty. Even on the first session out, the first group out of the day, I was speaking to someone. The experts go out first, and I was in the intermediate, so I was out second. I spoke to someone who went out in the experts, and he said that literally first lap round there was choppy bumps, there was dust being thrown up, and I think there was just a lack of track prep all round, which is really disappointing, because you know, some people like motocross nowadays, it's not cheap, especially when you factor in the price of fuel nowadays as well. It's absolutely ridiculous. So to show up and kind of be presented with a subpar track, especially a track of this kind of scale and this notoriety in the UK. These Canada Heights is literally one of the biggest and best tracks in the UK, but it did not live up to that today. So that negativity out of the way. My riding also not very good. I just wasn't having a good day. I'm sure you guys know as well, when you're off, you're off. You'll see that this video is quite heavily edited in regards to, I don't think you ever even see like half a lap full of me riding, because I was just blowing out my ass everywhere. Like my arms were gone. Sitting here right now, if I kind of push down on my palms, for example, my palms feel so bruised, it was awful. And I do apologise. I'm not sure how it's going to look on YouTube once it's uploaded, but there are black bars at the point of me editing this on the side. I was messing with some new settings on my GoPro. I've got a Hero 8 Black, and I changed it to, usually I run like 2K. I think it's ultra wide, but this time I changed it to 1440, and I put the very minor hyper smooth setting on. First of all, not a fan of the hyper smooth because you can't see how bloody rough it is and how much my bike's moving about, so it makes the track look a lot easier than it was. But GoPros do that anyway, don't they? And then secondly, obviously we've got the black bars here. It's my first time. I didn't check the footage throughout the day, which I probably should have done. It was a bit of a issue in hindsight. Right here. Yeah, waving yellow flags 2 marshal points before this. There's a red flag in front of me right now. I am the only person on the track that has stopped. Now, don't get me wrong, waving yellow flag means wheels on the ground, do not jump. There were people still jumping. Red flag means stop the fucking bike. Why is everyone still proceeding to go through? It's absolutely ridiculous. And I looked ahead and saw the guy with this red flag in the corner kind of ushering people through, so I thought, you know what, okay, we'll start rolling. And this poor sod on the inside here, he's obviously had a big one to land to where he is. That is a long way from that jump. And just, I don't know what goes through people's heads sometimes. Just the rules are there for a reason. Just obey them. Almost go over the handlebars here. One of the few times you'll hear me on the limiter when it's going a bit tits up. But yeah, we was just coming back to the pits here, because this is still under the red flag, so we're just rolling back, and the guy right there with the red flag, he gave everyone a bollocking in between this, literally asking everyone what do the flags mean. And I was getting ready. I was like, if you're asking me, I've got GoPro footage of me actually obeying the rules, so don't take this out on me. And I think like, it's a practice day, you know, we're all there to have good fun. We're not there to do any racing in particular. There was no starts or anything like that. It's just pull on, do your 15-20 minutes, pull off, and go to work the next day. And that's one of my pet hates, really, is people that just don't obey yellow flags and stuff. They're there for your protection. Obey them. It's not that hard. Just use your eyes. And to be fair, I can see people on a waving yellow, kind of jumping a little bit more. But when there's a red out, just stop. You know, there's no rush, nothing's going to change. And they let us have our full session time again when we went back after that. It's not like our session got cut short, so you need to make the most of every single little second you're out on the track. But yeah, there was that drama. So I went back to the pits there, or the paddock, and I went out on the track. And because I'd had that little stop in between, guess whose arms went rock solid again? Oh god, it was awful. I think I'd done a lap and then had to pull off after that. I was like, well, that was a waste of a session, wasn't it? And I don't think I completed an entire session. Bearing in mind they're only 15-20 minutes long, which is that I was getting very, very annoyed at myself throughout the day. And even my dad could see it. He was like, "You're pissed off, aren't you?" I was like, "Yes, I am pissed off. I'm not riding within the ability that I know I can, or I know I used to be able to do." And it's a little bit of a kick up the arse because we parked up with some close friends whilst riding throughout the day, and two of them were out in the expert groups while I'm in intermediates, and I know that old me could have gone out in that experts no problem. Even on my 125, I was 100% faster on my 125 than I am on this 250, and it's purely down to bike time. You know, I could work out every single day and be as fit as I like, but if I'm not going out on the bike enough, then you're just not what I call bike fit. You've not got it in your arms, and your position's off, your technique's off. And it's just something that I'd like to change, but you know, real life life does get in the way sometimes with that, which is a little bit of a shame. But I know that around mid-August, I've got a private hire day for someone's birthday, so I'm going to go and have a good time. Try and get my dad out on the bike as well. He wants to try and get my 125 up and running because it needs rebuilding. So maybe you'll see some 125 footage from me. That might be interesting. I've not ridden a two-stroke in many years, so that'll either go very well or very poorly. And yeah, so other than the fact that I felt like I rode like shit and the track was very unimpressive, it was an alright day. It's quite rare nowadays when I go riding. It's usually just me and my dad. You know, we sit there, we do our thing. It's quite quiet. We don't really talk to anybody. But there was a big group of people that we speak to today, and they brought friends with them, and it was just nice. We all parked up. Everyone was really friendly. Like, the mood was great. And I'm not the most social person in the world. Like, these YouTube videos are probably the most talking that I do day to day. So it was quite nice just to get involved a little bit, be a little bit social, and almost take your mind off of your riding as such and just enjoy the day for what it is. I mean, the weather was great. The sun was out. There was a tiny bit of a breeze, so it wasn't like disgustingly overbearingly hot. But yeah, I just wish that the track was in a little bit better shape. You can see like the dust kicking up here, there, and everywhere. And it got to a point where, so I think I'd done 4 sessions throughout the day. I didn't record the first one. I never do. I just go and kind of find my feet and stuff. But yeah, I didn't complete an entire session. And you'll see in this video why I pull off in the last session. I think it stems back to people not using their head enough. To be fair, I'm probably the opposite way, where I try using my head too much, and I'm too careful. I don't kind of push things to that limit, so I don't test myself enough. But some people then take it to the extreme and go the other way, and it's actually quite dangerous, and you'll see what I mean in a little bit coming up. I'm really annoyed actually watching this GoPro back. It doesn't do it justice just how like chattery the bumps were. There's so many just like tiny little bumps coming into corners that just destroy your arms, and I don't think it does justice of how high you are as well. So some of these jumps, you look up and you can see the motorway off in the distance. You can see if the traffic's any good on the way home. It feels like you're so high up in the air jumping down some of these hills, and granted it looks really piddly and tiny and pathetic on camera, but when you're in the moment, you guys know what I mean. It feels good. And I've done every jump on the track on this day, except the one that you saw me almost go over the bars earlier. I don't think I've ever cleared that. It's such a huck out the corner. I'm happy with these whoops right here. I didn't get them clean many laps purely because it takes the absolute shit out of my arms. You can see there, I looked down, I was like, oh my god, my arms, they're dead, because I almost I got a little bit sketchy. And they've changed them a bit. So they used to be a little bit more peaky, so it was a lot easier to get up and over, and they've shallowed them out a little bit this time. Not to a point where you can really like blitz them and skim them, because it's still a little bit sketchy. But to actually then get over them cleanly and double your way through, you've got to carry a lot more speed. And my friend that I was parked up with actually, before I went out for my last session, which I think is the one you're watching now, he actually wadded himself, like went down really bad. He's got like, I don't know what you'd call it, just not rash up his arm, you know, like grazes all up his arm and his legs, and he's definitely going to sting when he gets in the bath tonight, that's for sure. But again, it's just one of them things where it just felt like in some parts of the track it was genuinely like a little bit dangerous, and for the most part I'm okay. I ride well within my limits, but yeah, there's some people, you know, that are there, they kind of want to get a bit better and try and push themselves a little bit, and all it takes is one tiny little lapse of concentration or running out of skill a tiny bit, and you're getting spat off when you're on the floor. And there's some pretty high-speed parts of this track, and I mean the jumps do boot you up in the air. I'm pretty certain that they've refaced most of the jumps here for this day, or if it wasn't this day, it was for the week prior for the actual Nationals race. At the top of this hill, the camera doesn't do it justice again, but there's a horrible little lip at the face of that, which you'll actually see in a second. Someone wads themselves right in front of me, which is probably the thumbnail of this video, because I know it will get views because it actually looked really, I'd say it looked cool. The poor fucker crashed, but it's good for me. At least it gets me some more views. But then again, it was just kind of a fact of, I've just passed this guy. We're at a practice day. We're not racing for anything. He doesn't want to let the position go, so he blasts up past me again, and then wads himself in the air on the jump. And that was enough for me to go, you know what? I'm pulling off. It's not worth it. I don't want to get cleaned out by somebody. I'm sure everybody's aching. The track is rather beat up. I'm sure everyone's hanging on for dear life in the intermediates, at least. I'm sure the experts are enjoying life as well. We have this. I think it's number 311. I think I'm reading that correctly. I can't remember. Oh, actually, I can't remember if it's this guy or if it's someone else. But in a lap or so's time as well, so he goes down just in front of me and just like tucks the front. It might have been another Yam, actually. That guy. I think this guy's going to disappear off in the distance. He looks a bit better than me. Oh no, he didn't. Oh, interesting. Didn't send that. That step up there is one of my most favourite jumps on the track. It's so nice and floaty. And again, it looks absolutely tiny on camera, but when you're in the moment, it doesn't feel like it. Oh no, it was him. It was him. So yeah, we come up here, hit this horrible little kicker at the top of this hill, turn left, and as we jump down, you'll see. This is, I took a heavy breath here as well, so like our back end gets kicked out sideways, and in my mind I could see that going so much worse. Like, I thought he was landing on the geezer on the KTM there. He come round. I feel like I'm doing this guy dirty now, and I just tucks the dog, gets out of the rut there, gets out of shape, and it's like, right, that's one crash that I avoided. But the very next clip, I've realised that I might have left this clip a little bit late. Give it about 10 seconds and I'll show you what I mean. But yeah, that jump down the hill where his back end kicked out, that looked so much closer in person. I was like, oh god, that's close. So these are in front of me here. We are going to jump down the hill in a second. There we go. So I'm going to go up the inside of him here. You know what? He doesn't look like he's going at any sort of pace. It's like he's just chilling, or like on a slow lap or whatever. It's like, fine, you know what? Pass him. Go back up here, and then I hear him kind of banging it on the throttle on the right. And yeah, that could have been a lot worse if I hadn't have checked up. And it's just little things like that where it gets towards the end of the day, the track is beat to fuck, people are tired, and just kind of run out of talent really. And I think I'm smart enough in regards to I don't try that stuff, but then again, like I said earlier, I think I'm overcautious, like I don't push myself enough. But it works both ways, but that instant right there was enough to go, you know what, I think that's enough for me for today. I don't want to get cleaned out, I don't want to take myself out. So I did have one area where I was coming into a corner, like lots of tiny little chattery bumps, and my left hand kind of came off the grip ever so slightly. And yeah, this is it here. So that'll do it for me today. Not my proudest days riding. I do apologise. I know it's probably like watching a snail go around the track, and if the video is difficult to watch because of these settings, I do apologise as well. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I feel like the outro is playing now. There's music over top of me. You can't really hear me, but I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.
I'm sacrificing my sanity, but most importantly, I'm sacrificing my time. Boy, I feel fine. I feel like I am a king. Honestly, I can't complain. Even with faith that's the size of a grain of some salt, I will still move a mountain and do what I want. I got salt to be for my